Ted, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. Much appreciated. I don't know about expert on all that, but I do have some knowledge. Um, Again, my name is Ted Sims. I work directly for Integrity Marketing. A little about me, real quick. I've been in the business going into my 23rd year. I spent 10 years in the field selling directly to seniors, so very familiar with the senior market and the products that go into that. I've actually had a relationship with senior marketing specialists for a better part of that same 20 plus years. Um, really don't want to know a lot about me, so we'll kind of just dive on in. As she mentioned, I do have a hard stop. I actually have to be out of here by 11:55. Any questions that you guys have that they are not able to answer, they will email me, and we'll make sure you guys get the answers that you're looking forward to. In addition, she did mention this was going to be similar to the one we did last week. If you were on last week's, the only difference is we are going to highlight Kansas. In fact, the real specific difference is the rates examples that I give you are going to be focused more on Kansas. Having said all of that, the products that we talk about today are geared the same way nationally. So what you see in Kansas is what you're generally going to see everywhere else you get it, where you get contracted with them. So, I talk about this business all the time being the greatest business in the world, and there's a lot of aspects to that come into play for me. First one is, typically speaking, the experience I got dealing with senior clients. And what I mean specifically out of that is the stories that come back from clients when I sold them a policy, whether it's a life policy, a health insurance policy, short-term care type policy, anything like that, when the policy was needed most and the policy did what it was supposed to do. And those client stories that come back to you about what they would have done if they did not have this policy. To me, that's a very satisfying moment. As long as you've done what's right by your client, then those moments are outstanding. The other piece of it is, just getting to work with agents like yourself and work with senior marketing specialists. I get to travel around and get face to face, and I'm generally the educator, but I learned more from you guys in the field, especially being able to break bread with different agents, and just spending time with you guys makes it the greatest business in the world to me. From you guys' perspective, I think there's another piece that comes into play is you guys can make as much money or as little money as possible. It's just a matter of applying yourself. If you want to really invest in this business, you can make as much money as you want to. If you just want to do it part-time, you could make part-time money with it too. There are two factors that are going to drive your success in this. There's multiple, but there are two that we're going to talk about today. One of those is, obviously, you have choices with the IMOs that you guys can choose. Partnering with senior marketing specialists, they're one of the premier partners in this business, one of the premier IMOs. They bring an awful lot of knowledge and wealth and experience to you guys. And there's a lot of tools you're going to get by partnering with them also. The other one is you guys have choices on your IMO. You also have choices on the carriers that you guys want to do business with. And we're going to talk about three of them today that, where they fit in the market and why they are a really good fit to your portfolio. A quick agenda. We're going to talk about the integrity roles in the process of bringing these Medicare supplements. We'll just spend a couple of minutes here. We'll spend a couple of minutes on the senior marketing specialist, the value and support and the tools that they bring to you guys just by having one contract with any of these carriers. Then we're going to talk about the carrier spotlight. So we're going to spend a few minutes on ACE and Aflac, and then a little bit deeper dive into the Allstate Medicare supplement. Reason being, there's so many more moving parts in the Allstate product that you guys need to kind of understand to make sure you understand how that product fits, and all the confusion around CSG and rate quoting and anything else there. So having said that, I'd like to talk to you about where integrity fits in. And the purpose of saying this is not to brag about integrity. That's not really the point. The point of all of these different pieces we're getting ready to discuss is how they help you, the agent, and what we're doing in all of these pieces to make your jobs easier when it comes to it. So, typically when you look at a Medicare supplement product coming to your client, you have your insureds, and your carriers. You, the agent, fit in the middle. So you bring whatever Medicare supplement product from the IMO to you, to your actual clients. Well, in the middle of all that, there's multiple roles that we actually play. Product development is one of them, and the products we're going to talk about today were actually designed by our product development team. That team is headquartered in Atlanta. I actually work for that team. I'm not smart enough to design the Medicare supplements, but I'm part of the sales team who supports approximately 21 of our IMOs nationwide. But having said that, the product development team designs these Medicare supplements, and we're going to kind of take a look at what thought process goes into that. The next piece that we have in here that we partnered with is marketing and advertising. We actually partnered with an advertising firm called Thomas Arts. They're actually the agent of record for Aetna and United Healthcare. What that means is they generally, for you guys, they have designed all of the turnkey materials that you guys need, from social media assets to client-facing assets to email templates. All of those pieces that make your job easier, they design them. Most of them are already available. Some of them get delayed in state approvals, but they go through the whole process of designing and implementing these pieces. So you guys have access to them. So all you have to do is grab them and go. You don't need to get approvals because they're already approved by the state and everything else. So that's a key piece of it in there that makes it easier for you guys. The next three pieces are kind of combined. Independent sales distribution. That's our premier partners, such as senior marketing specialists out there, IMOs out in the field that bring these products to you guys. They offer the training and support for you guys. The next two, this is your captive type shops, career distribution, and this one is call center type shops. And we've partnered with a multitude of different ones, one of these all over the nation. And then the last piece of this that we play in here that we partnered with is technology and third-party administration. So the first one is third-party administration. We partner with a company called IAS. They do some of the third-party administration on one of our carriers we're going to talk about today. And then we have technology. We're going to talk about a lot of the technology tools that come into play here. CSG, actuarial, Def Research is one of our partners. I don't know if you guys are familiar with who Def Research is, but they give a lot of the stats and everything else out there, boring actuarial stuff. But for an example, every Medicare Advantage carrier out there confers with Def Research before they make any type of product changes for any of their Medicare Advantage products on a year-to-year basis. So, there's a lot of knowledge and wealth there. Some of the other tools that we're going to talk about, you'll see, we have a ton of tools in here that are designed to help you guys, and that falls under the technology portion of that. So enough about integrity. These are the carrier partners that the office in Atlanta has brought forward to you guys. Today, specifically, we're going to talk about the big three A's up here: ACE, Aflac, and Allstate. We're going to talk about how these products were designed. Obviously, a Medicare supplement is a Medicare supplement, but there are some pieces in there that you need to be aware of. So these are the carriers we'll discuss. So I mentioned the team in Atlanta actually brings these products to market. There's a lot of thought process that goes into designing these Medicare supplements. And, one of them is appeal. When these products are designed, they want to make them appealing. Obviously appealing to you, the agent, and appealing to your client. So, there's a lot of thought. That's one of the thoughts that they put into it. The next one is they want to make it profitable for you, the agent, to sell this. Obviously, you're not out here for your looks. You're selling Medicare supplement products to make a living. So there's a lot of pieces in that, and we're going to discuss both of those a little bit more in depth. They also want to make them easy to work with for you guys. Again, I mentioned you have choices when you pick partnerships with senior market specialists and choices with your carriers. Obviously, if they're not easy to work with, you're not going to want to keep on writing them and you're going to go somewhere else. So there's a lot of thought that goes into that. So appeal, that's kind of a broad statement. What we're talking about, and I can give you specifically for myself, when I sit down with a client, there's typically three things that my clients are looking at, and I kind of outline them for my client and then ask them which one is most important to them. One of those pieces is brand. How many times have we all brought a carrier into a client's household and said, hey, I want to sell this Medicare supplement, and the client's like, I've never heard of that. So brand names is one of the big appealing pieces that we try and put forth on our products for you guys. The next one is rates. Competitive rates is an important driver on Medicare supplements. Doesn't always have to be the lowest rates, but it needs to be competitive. You need to be able to ask your client what's most important. Is it brand? Is it the lowest rates, or is it at least competitive rates with a good brand? So, those are appealing pieces that should appeal to you and your clients. The last one on here is important, but there's not a lot of clients that will ask it. But every once in a while, your higher wealth, your sophisticated clients may ask you the financial stability of the company, and that's an important factor too. The thought process that goes into the companies that we bring forth, or the team in Atlanta brings forth when they design these Medicare supplements. And then again, the effortless piece, I said easy to do business with. We're just going to kind of paraphrase that down to we want to make it as effortless as possible for you guys. So when I talk about profitability for you guys, first and foremost, we offer the top commissions available. We're not going to undercut commissions for you. Generally speaking, at worst case, you're going to find that our commission matches most anybody else that's out there, on a national level, depending on the state, how they do business. We want to make sure that the commission is extremely competitive for you guys. And that goes for the street level agent that may write 1 or 5 or 10 Medicare supplement policies a year. That also goes for the big agencies that write 1,000 policies a year that qualify for above street level commission. We want to make sure that we have best commissions available for you guys. The next thing is the product sticks. I mean, Telos Actuarial says that 9 out of 10 Medicare supplement enrollees are highly satisfied or satisfied with their plan coverage. That means that they're going to stay on the books. There's 65 million Medicare beneficiaries in 2022. That number grows somewhere close to 78 million by the year 2031. So there's an additional 18 billion in premium that's expected to be coming in the Medicare supplements. The product sticks on the books. That's going to be a profit opportunity for you guys on the Medicare supplement side. The other piece is we offer year-round bonus programs on all of the Medicare supplements we designed for you guys. So not only do you get the top commissions available, but there's all kinds of bonus perks available for you guys, be it quarterly or monthly. So speaking of which, Allstate, one of the companies we're going to talk about today, is running a quarterly bonus for the second quarter. Once you have submitted 10 applications, you will get paid bonuses as followed. For every underwritten application out of that 10 plus any more you write, you'll get $125 on top of your commission. For any type anniversary or birthday rule applications, you get $50. And in any open enrollment business, you actually get $25 in addition to your commission. So there's an app bonus for Allstate. There's also one for Aflac. Aflac is 3 issued policies in a given month. You get $100 for any underwritten and $50 for any non-underwritten. Once you've hit 3, you get paid for those 3 and any more you write throughout the month. And then the last one, and this is one of our richer bonus programs we have out there, is the ACE Medicare Supplement Bonus. This is actually running for the entire second quarter. So after reaching 5 submitted applications with ACE, you get $250 for every underwritten piece and $25 for any open enrollment type business. They've actually been running this program since ACE launched back in August, and I know in AEP and in the first quarter of this year, there were some very large bonus checks written out there, probably enough to buy some cars. So there's a lot of extra money to add to your profit margins. A lot of smarter agents will save this bonus money come AEP and use it to generate more leads during their AEP. You can use it for whatever you want. Obviously, it's free and clear money for you above and beyond just selling the Medicare supplements. So talked about the bonus programs. With COVID, carrier incentive trips have kind of gone away, at least had for a while. They're starting to come back. I know Allstate is currently running a carrier incentive trip to Los Cabos. So there are carrier trips that are available. It's not really a profit thing, but it's more of a perk for you. And then the last, but this is one of the most important, the tools that you guys are going to get and the support you get by partnering with a world-class partner like Senior Marketing Specialist is going to free you up to spend more time selling and less time doing. The training and tools they have available for you guys and the tools that you get by contracting with any one of these carriers, through them is going to make your job easier and more profitable by spending less time doing administrative type work and more time selling. So I talked about effortless. This is one of the biggest factors that goes into this. So again, we talked about Thomas Arts, pre-approved turnkey materials that are available for you that makes your job easy. This one's actually really important, and a lot of carriers don't really do this, but what we do, and my specific role in this as part of the sales team, is making sure you guys are part of our carrier feedback loop. And what I mean by that is because you have partnered with senior marketing specialists, we value the feedback that you agents bring from the field. And what I mean by that is, let's say, when we design one of these products and bring it to market, it doesn't always go off as smooth as it should. So we want to get feedback from the agents. And I'll give you a couple of prime examples. Obviously, it'll have to be within reason. But, one of the things that happened recently with one of our carriers was that the e-app process was not as simple. Basically, to put it in layman's terms, it was kind of clunky. So what we did was the feedback came back from the field, all the issues with the actual e-app process. That information was given back to the carrier, was redesigned, and added a security question signature. And we made the changes along those lines. So things like that. Another example was one of our products had some restrictions on when somebody was leaving a Medicare Advantage program, coming over to a Medicare supplement, they needed extra paperwork. It was kind of ridiculous. Nobody else in the field was doing that. So things like that, if they're not working as intended, we want to know what's going on for you guys, and we'll make changes, obviously, where possible. If not, the feedback is used in the thought process when we bring new Medicare supplements to the table. So it is important, because you guys have partnered with senior marketing specialists, to make sure you let us know what's going on in the field. Again, I mentioned the e-app signature processes. We want to make them as simple as possible. And then again, the support of the senior marketing specialist team. That I keep saying that, but partnering with the right IMO will either make or break you as an agent in this business. And then access to tools. We're getting ready to cover these. By having any one of these contracts through the senior marketing specialist team, you get these tools free. So, this is kind of a silly slide if you think about it, a guy trying to blow up that size tire with a bicycle pump. But it's a true statement. Having the right tools will save you time and money, and in the insurance business is no different. So linking up with the right IMO is going to make your life easy. So having said that, these tools we're getting ready to talk about, we're not going to dive in deep to them. We're almost done with this first portion of the presentation. I just want to make sure you know what's available to you guys. These tools are free, again, just by having a contract in any one of these carriers. Medicare Center is the first one, and there are so many moving pieces to this. We don't have time to dive into this rabbit hole, but what I will suggest is they're always doing webinars on the tools that are available to you. But kind of a quick overview, Medicare Center is a customer service software for you. It also has call recording. Think about that with the Medicare Advantage restrictions that are there. It is CMS compliant, does keep your calls on file for you so that you have access to them as long as CMS requires. So that was a nice perk to agents that were selling Medicare Advantage and had no idea how they were going to meet those requirements. You have a personal URL, basically your own little website. You have quoting and enrolling tools. It has links to the CSG app, which you can actually do quoting and all of that stuff. You can actually enroll clients for some of the Medicare supplements and most of the Medicare Advantage clients for you, and other pieces in there that are related more to the Medicare Advantage side. But there is an awful lot of tools here. And again, if you're not currently utilizing this tool, if you are contracted, make sure you utilize it. If not, by contracting, you get opportunity to contract with these. So I know they're always offering webinars. I'd reach out to the senior marketing specialist team to get in touch with some of those dates and times. The next tool is the Lead Center. This gives you free access to a Lead Center customer service software tool for you, where you can order health and life leads. There's all kinds of leads in there, from brand new to unique to you, to old leads, all kinds of leads that you want, have access to. They have real-time campaigns, meaning live leads that you can get access to. where customers are calling in and being transferred to you, or however that piece of it works. And then it connects with the Medicare Center and the CRM and call recording that we already talked about. So again, I'm not going to spend a ton of time here. I suggest that you guys reach out if you want to learn more about these. The last piece of one of the tools is the CS Actuarial, which is basically a rate quoting engine for you, where you can quote ancillary products. You can quote Medicare supplements. It gives you benefits on the Medicare Advantage plans out there. It has a quoting tool where you can compare side by side your Medicare supplement quotes for your clients and email them side by side. And it has all kinds of market reach data for you guys on that side. Again, there's a lot here to unpack. We're not going to really dive in deep. So I talked about the turnkey materials available to you. Here's some examples of the stuff that's available, from social media assets to client email templates to paper materials for your clients. Pretty much everything you're going to want to have access to is there. Some states are slower at getting this approved through the Department of Insurance than others, but most everything you're going to need access to is going to be available to you. The last tool we're going to talk about that's free to you is the Turning 65 app. And this is the website address where you actually go register for it. Again, it will verify that you do have a contract with one of these carriers through Senior Marketing Specialist. But once you have that available to you, you have access to it. So it also has rate quoting tools for dental, vision, hearing, indemnity plans, final expense, and Medicare supplements. It also has a unique piece where if you give it location accuracy or access, it will show you every senior around you that's turning 65 in the next 6 months. So the blue dot is actually my address in Georgia. The red dots are everybody that was turning 65 within 6 months of when I actually ran the screen print up there. So it is a nice, neat tool for you. It gives you the client's address and their date of birth and their name, and then you can actually run quotes for that client. Obviously, it's not one of your clients. You will have to get access by, being a social butterfly or finding out, phone number for them. But it is a nice, neat little tool just to kind of give you access to more information. So having said that, let's dive into the 3 Medicare supplements. And I ran in one of the zip codes in Kansas for you guys. The purpose of this slide, real quick, is kind of a thought process that I use when I sit down with clients, but it's also going to kind of outline where all of these products fit into the market. So, when I sit down with a client, I built my block of business off replacing overpriced Medicare supplements in the state of Georgia. Basically getting client confidence that I'm selling you a Medicare supplement plan G as a plan G, explaining really the only difference my clients were ever going to see is the name that's actually on the insurance card and the amount of premium that's being drafted out of their checking account, and making that conversation as simplistic as possible for them. So having said all of that, when I sit down with my clients, I tell them, hey, if you and I and 5 other clients sat down at a table together and we talked about Medicare supplement, and you could use the analogy that the pot of coffee is a Medicare supplement. If I poured 1 cup of Medicare supplement for the first client, by the time I got to the last client over here, if I poured their cup and I charged them this price, they would actually look at me like I was crazy. When the first client I gave a Medicare supplement, I gave them this price. I kind of explain that to my clients as that's the same thought process if you're trying to buy an overpriced Medicare supplement. Doesn't always have to be the lowest priced Medicare supplement. I fully respect agents that don't want to sell the lowest priced Medicare supplement, but there are competitive options all the way across the board before you get to some of the big name carriers that, like in my state, for instance, there's big name carriers. I know there's some in all states really where clients are just comfortable going to it because of the name. We talked about the appeal factor. So, this is your base monthly rates without any household discounts. This is actually for the state of Kansas where the companies fall. Obviously, you see the Integrity logos on here. Those are Integrity companies that we've brought to market. Once you factor in household discounts again, ACE is going to be the lowest price on just a base household discount. And then Aflac is competitively priced, and Allstate is competitively priced on their base plans. But you're going to see some differences as we go through here that will actually make Allstate move way over here out of all of this. So, I just kind of use this as a analogy for my clients, and I welcome you guys to use any bits of that when you're talking to your clients that you feel like will be beneficial. So having said that, let's dive directly into the three carriers we're going to discuss. ACE Medicare Supplement. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. You're probably familiar with the Chubb name. ACE actually purchased Chubb a few years ago and decided to use the ACE name when they brought it to market, not the Chubb name. But once that acquisition was complete, they became, or they may have already been, but they're the world's largest publicly traded property and casualty company. They are a huge company. Obviously, that means a lot of premium. They've collected 200 billion in assets and reported over 46.8 billion of gross premiums in 2021. I don't have any numbers for 2022 yet. This one's a really big one. 93% of Fortune 1000 companies have at least one Chubb product, commercial and property casualty. Let me rephrase that for you. That means only 70 of the top 1,000 Fortune companies don't have a Chubb product in their actual offices. And then it's an A++ rated carrier. That is actually unique. There are very few A++ rated carriers that have a Medicare supplement. In fact, I only know of one out there. Maybe you guys know of more. The one I know of is State Farm, and most everywhere you see State Farm Medicare supplement rates, they're not really competitive. So they're not really in the Medicare supplement market. So as far as I'm concerned, it's the only A++ rated carrier that has a competitive Medicare supplement product out there. The product highlights, this is pretty easy. ACE was designed to have the lowest base rates in most every state. That's before you factor in any household discounts. It was designed as a rate play to be one of the lowest, if not the lowest rate in every state pretty much it went into. And that's how it has come out, and that's how it has been perceived. And it's actually ended up being pretty much the second largest launch we've ever had with Integrity Medicare supplements because the rates are so competitive. They do have a 7% household discount. It is a one policy. If you're not familiar with what I mean by that, that just means one or the other spouse or significant other has to apply to get the 7% household discount. The only stipulation is they do have to match whatever state rules apply by the Department of Insurance. So some states are a little bit different than others, but generally speaking, only one client has to apply as long as they're living with their spouse or significant other. This one is actually administered by our integrity partner, IAS. That kind of adds a little bit more credence into the feedback loop that we talked about earlier, and a little bit more insight into what goes on behind the scenes from the integrity partners that you guys decide to partner with, such as senior marketing specialists. And then it typically has the normal plans available depending on the state. They also have the high deductible G&Ns. This one is actually one of the ones that has some of the more unique signature options. They have typically every signature option that you would ever think of, from text signature to email signature. They also actually added in one that nobody else that I've seen does. If your client is an old school and wants a paper app and you prefer to do electronic apps, you can actually do an electronic app for your client. And ACE will actually print that app, mail it out to your client. Your client can sign it and put it in a return envelope back to them so that it has a wet signature on it. Again, talking about ease of doing business, that's a huge piece that I don't see anybody else doing, that they want to make, obviously your job as easy as possible. And then the last one, again, I mentioned that this product was designed with a rate play. Again, I respect some agents that don't want to sell the lowest premium. But I will say at some point, if you don't have it in your portfolio, you're probably going to be competing against it. And in that case, you're not going to be able to sell because you're going to have a tough time beating the rates that are there. So that's really the most important information that you need to know about ACE. I mean, I'm not going to explain Medicare supplements. I was assuming this class would have everybody understands it. The appealing factors for you guys is that it is a brand name carrier. A good portion of your clients will know who they are. They do have the lowest rates. So, when you talk to your clients about what's most important, if the lowest rates is what's most important, you're going to be able to match them there. They are an A++ rated carrier, so financial stability is there. And then they have the year-round bonus programs for you guys. In fact, this one was one of the richest ones we have at $250 an app. So that's really the high level information as far as why you would want to add ACE Medicare supplement to your portfolio. Next, we're going to dive into Aflac. I would assume everybody out there is familiar with Aflac. You can't go a Saturday if you watch any type of college football without seeing the duck on TV 10 or 12 different times. That's great news for you guys, the actual agents, because that's free advertising, free brand awareness for your clients. I'm not going to spend much time talking about who the duck is. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Aflac. They are an A+ rated carrier. So again, we talk about financial stability. They're going to check off that box for you. They were originally American Family Life Insurance Company out of Columbus, but they changed their name in 1964 to American Family Life Assurance Company with an A. Obviously set up the promotion for the duck and made one of the most groundbreaking advertising campaigns in history. So again, the product highlights for Aflac. This is a brand name that's recognized by 87% of your seniors, so they're going to be comfortable with the name. When you're selling a Medicare supplement, they're going to feel good about it. It does have a 10% household discount, one policy again, depending on the state. They are administered by Aetna. This is kind of important because, a lot of agents are comfortable with the Aetna process. I know some of the carriers that are out there with the Aetna name on them, such as CVS, have had bad claims experience recently due to some unluck, I guess is the best way to say it. The timing on how much business they did during COVID and the amount of seniors that actually took that product out under an open enrollment status, because most of the seniors out there were not willing to change policies during COVID and they wanted to stay with what they had. But Aetna, CVS, Ascendo actually wrote a ton of business, of open enrollment business throughout the COVID years. And it's kind of just a product of bad luck and timing because those seniors are now going to the doctor and there's a lot of things that have driven claims for them that shouldn't have happened, but that's another story. So if you are comfortable with the Aetna platform, the Aetna underwriting process, the Aetna agent portal, all of that, this is going to look very familiar. The only difference really is it's a different URL. So this is a great home for any of those agents that were selling any of the Aetna products. Aetna is not pulling out of the market. They're just focusing more on their ancillary stuff and putting a lot of effort into the Aflac product. As far as how this product was designed, it was designed with a low premium, but not the lowest. It was designed with a premium that was to compete with the tier 1 carriers. I'm going to give you the examples of who those are in a second and how that's kind of price structured. It does have your typical plans again out there like most everybody else. It is, as I mentioned, a good home for any of those Aetna agents that like the Aetna way of doing business and you're comfortable with it. This is a great opportunity to sell a competitive price Medicare supplement with a brand name. So I mentioned the pricing structure on this. It was priced as the lowest of the tier 1 carriers. This is what I mean by that. So your CVS, Ascendo, your United Healthcare AARPs, your Mutual of Omaha, your Cignas, your Blue Cross and Blue Shields. This actual screen grab was taken late last year. Aflac has not taken a rate increase. A lot of these other carriers have. So again, depending on the state you're in, this product is going to be more competitively priced for the most part than all of these tier 1 carriers up here. And this difference is probably more substantial now than it was late last year when the screen grab was created. So price wise, it's going to check that box for you. So back to the 3 things or 4 things that we talked about at the beginning. Aflac has a brand name recognition that your clients are going to like. You can ask them what's important to them. It does have a financial stability for you. It is the lowest prices of tier 1 carriers. So again, if you don't want that lowest overall premium, but you want something that's competitive with a brand name, Aflac is going to fit the bill for you. And then again, the year-round bonus programs, having an extra bonus on top of your commissions is always nice for the agent. And so that's really the information you need to know on the Aflac product. And again, forgive me for going fast, but I do have a lot of information to cover for you guys. The last one is going to be Allstate, and we're going to spend probably 10 to 15 minutes going through Allstate to get through everything you need to understand about Allstate and where it fits into the market. Who is Allstate? I would assume all of you guys know who Allstate is. Again, It's a huge advertising boon for you guys. It's free advertising for an agent. It's a name that clients are comfortable with. You may be familiar with them from the NatGen name. Allstate actually purchased NatGen in 2021 and completed the rebranding over to Allstate in October of 2022. They are, again, an A+ rated carrier. They do have 51 billion in annual revenue, and they do have 191 million policyholders. That's an awful lot of policyholders. There's a lot of client satisfaction and comfort with the Allstate name. I'm old enough to remember the Good Hands people. I also get a kick out of the Mayhem guy. Every single sporting event I watch, he's on. I start cracking up. But again, the point of saying all that to you guys is it's free advertising for you, and it's a name that your clients are going to be comfortable with. So product highlights. This is where we're going to spend a lot of time, or the most of the rest of the time we have left. Underwriting, Allstate does things a little bit differently. They do have instant underwriting. What that means is for you specifically, 80% of the policies that you guys submit electronically are going to be an instant underwriting decision. So to me, I wish more companies did business this way, especially back when I was writing for a living and not just servicing clients and working referrals that I get. Because, think about it, AEP, we all run up against those short time windows where we have to get a policy approved. Having that instant underwriting is great for that. In addition, it gives you the opportunity to flex or go to option B if your client is declined. So, that's a great tool for you guys, the agent, and a great way, ease of doing business piece that I should highlight for you. The other thing is an instant ID card download. Again, going back to AEP, mail can get slowed down, especially around Christmas time. Companies can get backed up. Your client can have an instant download ID card until they actually get their physical card in the mail. That's a nice perk for you, the agent, making your life easier for your clients, or making life easy for your clients. This one's not really a big deal, but they do offer any day effective date, meaning you can write the policies on 29th, 30th, or 31st. The billing date would retro to the first of the month unless you selected a different date. But that's the underwriting pieces that they do slightly different. Some companies will do instant, but a lot of companies don't. All right, so here's where we're really going to dig into the meat of Allstate and what sets them apart. When I think about a property and casualty company, first thing that comes to mind to me is stacking my automobile and my homeowners, getting some kind of discounts for stacking it. Well, Allstate is kind of pioneering the market on the same thing, except for on a Medicare supplement side. Before we get into the stackable discounts, we'll talk about what they've done differently first and foremost. They actually created an additional rating class for you called Preferred Select. This is actually for your healthier clients. There are a couple of restrictions on this. First and foremost, it's an underwritten piece of business. It starts at age 66. Without going into the weeds too much, there's a couple of loopholes, but for the most part, everybody's going to be underwritten to get access to this. The extra stipulations from a health perspective on the underwriting are they have to have a little bit more, a tighter height and weight chart. So it's typically your more fit clients. Obviously, they've got to be a little bit more in shape, less weight, to match the tighter height and weight chart. So that's the first stipulation. The second stipulation is no tobacco, depending on the state, 12 months, 2 years, whatever it is. They can't answer yes to the tobacco question. And then the additional health question that's actually asked for this piece of business is basically a 5-year look back on being diagnosed with depression and being prescribed antidepressant meds. As long as those three pieces plus the typical health questions you find on a Medicare supplement application are going to be answered no, then you should be able, your client will get the Preferred Select rating. What this rating also does, number one, it's a lower rate class. Number two, the age increases that are typically there are not there from age 66 to age 70, meaning it has banded rates. So the rate that they have at age 66 is the same rate all the way up through till age 70, meaning any age increases that would be typical with a Medicare supplement policy are not there. Now, if the entire block of business takes a rate increase, based on loss ratios, they will still see those, but your typical, because they turn 70, 69, 68, you will not see those typical rate increases. So that is a nice perk for your clients. The multi-discount program that I've actually talked a lot about, where I talk about my thoughts on a property and casualty company, come into play here. So the first one is every company out there offers some type of household discount. Allstate is no different. They offer a 7% household discount if it's a one policy, meaning only one of the people in the house is actually applying. It is a 10% household discount if both the husband and spouse or a significant other both apply. And the unique thing with this one, say one of the clients is declined, the other one is actually approved. This client that applied does not lose the extra 3% just because the spouse or significant other was declined. They do get to keep the 10% on the household discount, which is a little bit different than most other carriers. The next piece, and this one is for those clients that have the ability, if you guys ask the annual question, meaning their mode of premium, if they're willing to pay annually, they do get a 10% discount. And we're going to talk about some of the actuarial information that went into that. So that's a nice perk. Now you've got either 7, 10, 17, or 20% worth of discounts off of that premium for your client already. The last piece, and this one's not a fit for everybody. Obviously, you have clients that are not tech savvy, but if they have any type of Fitbit, Apple Watch, anything along those lines, I believe there's 6 major carriers that actually have them. If they're willing to register that device, they can get an additional 5%. Now, I know the questions that are probably going through your mind right now are, what do they do with that information? I will tell you a couple of things. First and foremost, the only stipulation to get this 5% discount is they must register the device and then take 1 step a day. So if they have an Apple Watch, they register it, they get out of bed, they're going to meet the criteria that's there, 1 step a day. The next question that comes up is, what do they do with that information? Do they call my clients? No, they do not call your clients. They're not going to ever call your clients, say, hey, you're not walking, you're not. The information there is only actuarial. It's not used anything against your client. It's used for future information for building and designing products. So again, it's not for everybody, but having said that, you have anywhere from 5% up to 25% discounts that you can offer your clients depending on where they fall in all these different questions. So let me put that in a different perspective for you. That means you have the ability to save them 25%. Put it in layman's terms, that's basically 3 months worth of free premium that you can offer your client on a Medicare supplement. And you remember my coffee cup example, Allstate was kind of over mid-pack as far as rates go. Once you start applying these discounts, you're going to see that it is totally different where they fall. The last piece of this, everybody that buys a Medicare supplement gets a free amplified hearing care package. What that means for your clients is, number 1, they get discounts on their hearing aids. Number 2, they get a $75 exam. Unless they use Miracle Ear, then it's free to go get that hearing aid. Discounts on the hearing aid are, I don't know what the percentages are, but from what I understand, they're significant. The other pieces of benefit here, and this is really where this policy, this additional add-on is great for your clients. They do have 2 years of free battery replacement. I know those batteries are extremely expensive. They do get 1 year of free follow-up care. Why that's important is because when they get a Medicare supplement, typically speaking, they're going to have that hearing aid fine-tuned a couple of times, sometimes multiple times. All of those follow-up fine-tuning visits are free. And then the last piece of that is they do have 3-year warranty type coverage, so loss or damage type coverage in there built into the Amplifon Hearing Care package. So that is free by purchasing a Medicare supplement policy through Allstate. And then they have an active and fit program. This program has 2 pieces, a paid piece and a free piece. The free piece is access to like 12,000 on-demand videos, workout videos they could do in their house. The paid piece is $25. That gives them gym membership. They don't actually go to the gym to sign up for it. They do it through Active and Fit. Roughly 15,000, give or take, gyms are participating. All the big gyms are pretty much in there. The great thing about that is there's no contract. They can cancel anytime, or they can switch gyms at any time just by going on the website. They don't have to deal with any of the salespeople from the gym. They do everything directly through here. They just show up at the gym, show their card, and they get access to it. They can cancel or switch gyms at any time. And then the last one, and this is that moment on TV, generally with weight, there's more. This whole preferred select rating class that I talked about being a lower rate, you can actually stack any percentage of up to the 25% in stackable discounts, multi-discounts on top of that already low rate. The last piece about it, and we talk about the lowest rates out there, and I know some agents are not comfortable with that. There are a lot of actuarial pieces that go into making those discounts available. First and foremost, the preferred select, we talked about that's your healthier clients. The 10% annual pay discount, a benefit for you, generally speaking, your clients that pay have better persistency if they pay annually, but even actuarially, the clients that are in better financial position are usually more conscious of their health, meaning they take better care of themselves. And those that have the ability to pay annually tend to have better claim outcomes, meaning, again, they take better care of themselves. There's less claims that they're responsible for, which helps keep loss ratios down to drive lower rate increases. Obviously, lastly, the wearable device is going to be your more health conscious clients. So again, all the things we talked about that go into it, the appeal factor, the rating, the rates, there's value added features through the multi-discount and preferred select, free advertising for you. And then the thing for you guys that, if it was me and I was still actively selling, the social media opportunity that is there by this product and the discounts that are available is huge. I'm not social media genius, but I would pay somebody to do it. You guys could come up with some type of really unique marketing slogans that you can put out there. The caveat is you cannot use the client's name. Again, these are just basic. I know there's much more creative ways than what I would say out there available to you. But I mean, in general, you could ask your clients, hey, if you could qualify for what's equivalent of 3 months free premium, would that interest you? There are so many creative ways to promote the discounts to your clients and get your clients to reach out to you. Just make sure you don't use the Allstate name, and unless you get it approved through Allstate, which will go through states and all of that and take you some time. The last thing that you guys need to know, and we're getting close to the time thing on the end of this, is where they fall in CSG and the rate quoting tools. So, when I showed you that coffee cup, Allstate was about fourth best, give or take. Once you go into CSG and you click on the annual rate, you're never going to see that 10% discount. Now you're going to see that Allstate has so many different rates available to you. I already mentioned ACE was the lowest rated carrier. Once you stack those combinations of 25% discount, actually Allstate is substantially cheaper than most of these carriers. In fact, on the premium rating over there, ACE was the lowest on the base rates than Allstate. Once you stack these discounts, it looks like this is what, $100 or $75 cheaper a year. Some cases that's $200, $250 cheaper a year with that annual discount in there. This gets confusing for agents. So I do want to show you how to understand what you're looking at if you're looking at these quoting engines. If you actually click the expand discount or expand quotes button over here, it will break these open for you. Once you do that, all the different Allstate that were there, the rating class is selected here, so you know exactly which rate matches up to it. Preferred select, we talked about what that is. Wearable, we talked about the 5% discount that's there. The confusing piece is right here, household and dual. What that means is it's the household discount, and dual means that 2 people applied. So it'll say either household or roommate. That's the 7%. The dual adds the 3%, so that would be 10%. It's important to understand these just so you know what you're looking at. The one thing you will never see in here is annual. It doesn't say it because on your monthly side, there's no annual that can be applied. And once you've clicked the annual button over here, then it actually takes you to that annual and that 10% is applied. So it's pretty easy to break down exactly which rates match up to what. I would ask that you guys screen print this just so you have an idea of what's there. But here's the difference. Your preferred select rating classes, your wearable is 5%, household, or it could say roommate, is 7. If this household or roommate plus dual is your 10%. And then the last thing agents really overlook all the time is they don't look at the annual quotes for their client. By filtering on the annual, that takes that additional 10% discount off of there for your clients. And that's the most important piece that brings Allstate actually to some of the lowest rates, if not the lowest rates in most cases throughout your states. And as I said, this is all the companies that are there, the lowest 5 or 6 right here first, are Allstate with those rates that are stacked. So having said all of that, Senior Market Specialist has access to this chart if you'd like to know where all these products are available outside of Kansas, but they are available in Kansas for you. With that said, I'd like to talk about the next steps for you guys. I would ask you guys to get contracted with any of these carriers that you're not contracted with. There is a fit for all 3 of these with your clients based on brand, rate, everything else. So if there are any that you're not contracted or you're not contracted with any of them, I would suggest you get contracted. That will give you access to the tools and the support through Senior Marketing Specialist. And then the last thing I'll say is I beg you guys to write at least one application. Make sure that you do that. The reason being, you're going to find out how simple these companies are to do business with and that they are a great fit for your clients out there. And with that, I will turn it back over to the Senior Marketing Specialist team. Here's the contact information to get a hold of them and see if we have any more questions or any questions that I can answer. I have 2 minutes before I need to go on to another webinar. There is a high demand among our partners these days to discuss these products because they are so popular in the field.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, Ted. Right now, we don't have any questions, which is totally fine because we got to get off here. But like he said, if you have any lingering questions, please feel free to follow up with Senior Marketing Specialist. Ask us all the questions that you have. If we can't answer them, we're happy to get you over to Ted's team so that way we can get you those answers. But any information or anything like that, we'll reach out to you guys and make sure that you have it. But Ted, do you have anything else before we wrap this up?
No, I'd just like to say thank you guys, and it's great partnering with you guys. It's wonderful to do business with you guys. You guys are one of the leading partners out there, so I implore agents to reach out to you guys and take advantage of you guys' wealth of knowledge on how to do this business in the marketplace.
Oh, hey, thank you so much. You know, we're proud partners of Integrity and we're happy to be working with you. So we'll let you guys get back to your day. Ted, thank you so much.
You too. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.